podcast. What is happening out there?
What's up, y'all?
In the cyberspace, Facebook land, the interwebs, the inner tubes of the outer world of Facebook and YouTube. Welcome to Religiously
All I know is social
Incorrect.
media, so
it's all the same,
man. The rest
man.
of it don't.
It's all the same, man.
It is.
And all the websites are the same at this point. They're all real.
Like all the basic cable stations.
Yeah, they're all the same. But we are the unique entity. Nobody like us.
Nobody in
all over. I'm Pastor Todd. This is Pastor Jeff.
What's up, y'all? We are brought to you today by Mike Phillips and High Street Fitness.
You don't know.
Mike Phillips and High Street Fitness, ready to get you right, get you tight. He's still out there in Cortland, ready for y'all to come out there and get y'all steroids on.
Steroids? Some Hulk Hogan stuff? What you gonna do?
He got y'all right. He ready for y'all to come on out there and get because some of y'all like me, some of y'all, what was Heavy D's name?
Heavy D?
What do you call him? The
overweight lover.
The overweight lover. There it is. Some of y'all like me. Yes. See, you know what I'm talking about. We here.
Goodness.
We here, baby.
My. Listen, y'all right on it. Now you want to be? I'm the underweight lover.
Featherweight lover.
I'm the featherweight lover.
Somebody told me the bigger the boat, the better the float.
Whoa. As always, Pastor Jeff has to introduce something sensual and sexual into every single show.
That was not sensual. I'm just saying, the bigger the boat,
we know you like to go on cruises and all. We get it. Hey, Rashad, good to see you. Thank you, my friend. Rosetta Carter, Elder Carter, how are you doing? Listen, check this out. Let's do something real quick. First of all, I want to throw some thank yous out there.
Yes.
Thank you all for the Father's Day wishes.
Thank you
to all of us.
Much.
The Father's Day wishes on behalf of all the fathers out there. I'm just going to say one big thank you on behalf of all the fathers. Thank you. I didn't ask you to sing. Did not ask you to sing.
Followers.
All right. Thank y'all for the birthday and anniversary wishes. I appreciate it. We took the week off. So I appreciate you guys. I turned 41 last week. Shamika and I celebrated our 18th anniversary.
Wow.
So we're in it, man. Wow. We're in it deep. Wow. So thank you all. Some of you sent cards and gifts, and want to appreciate you guys out there. And if you haven't yet, Cash App, Pastor Todd Johnson with 2 Ds. Just saying, just in case.
So I'm trying to figure this out real quick. So, because me and my wife are 18 too. So y'all got married in
June of 2015. So we 2005.
Yeah. So we got married New Year's. So you
guys are 6 months on us.
We got a little bit on you.
6 months on us. That's how it be, man. And I want to celebrate my man, Pastor Jeff Stanford, who celebrated 3 years pastoral ministry at the Progressive Baptist Church.
Cash App, Pastor J. Stan. Give it up.
Cash App. Bless the man of God.
Bless the man of God.
Bless the man of God.
I need it all.
As it is, money cometh to Jeff.
I want it all back.
Money cometh to Jeff. We appreciate you, man. It's once a year where you get appreciated for doing the work of ministry.
Absolutely.
And I heard that Reverend Bishop Kenneth Paramore did what Kenneth Paramore does. Shh. He just basically bullied the whole church with the gospel.
He cut off the shug.
No, he didn't.
He cut off the shug, Doc.
I'm upset now.
He cut off the shug.
Shug.
It wasn't there no more.
We need it back. Well, at least give it to me. At least give it to me. I mean, old man, I'm turning gray. I need something to spice this up with. So, but we know Bishop comes with the fire and the heat, and I know they were blessed. We had Youth and Children's Day at 2nd. It was a blessed day. The kids were energetic. Support was there. It was beautiful. Pastor George Falls II brought a great word. He spoke on, Lord, wreck my roof.
Oh, ooh.
Lord, wreck my roof.
Lord, wreck my roof.
And so, seeing that our church needs a new roof, it was very, very appropriate.
Did you tell them there's only one Pastor George?
Only one. Listen, I almost said there's only one Pastor George in Warren, and you're not it. But no, he's fine, young man, beautiful family. But you know what the best part, and I just want to throw this in there, is they came with their 3 young kids. I want to say 5, 6, and 2.
Wow.
Okay, 5, 6, and 2, which is about the gap of our children. And I told Shamika, and we tried our best to be as accommodating and helpful. You know how you take the preacher out when they come to town the night before? We went to Chuck E. Cheese. But we knew better, though, because going to Chuck E. Cheese was better than trying to take them to a restaurant or something. because I know little kids. We had little kids. But you know what the warmest thing is? I told Shamika and I, they're not much younger than us, but they have much younger kids than us. She's like 37-ish. The little girl just clung to my knee, and after like 3 hours, I was Uncle Todd. And like I realized I'm stepping into that phase in life. I'm not there yet. But now, hopefully, some younger ministers and pastors will come along, and their little kids will get to know me the way my kids are getting to know others. And I mean, I was the spoiler. I was the one giving the kids candy. I was the one telling them they can run around as much as they want to. You know, all the stuff that I never wanted my kids to do in church. You know, but we could empathize. Shamika and I have been there. You know, and you know what it's like to have babies in church, especially when you're a pastor. Y'all think you know what it's like to have babies in church? Try to have babies in church when you are a pastor.
My God.
Try to have a baby screaming and it's yours.
It's mine. It's always mine.
It's one thing to hear a baby screaming. It's another thing to know it's yours.
Listen,
and then to look out there and see your wife.
Grayson wowed out today.
Did he?
He wowed out. And he just, wah, wah. I
love it. I love it, man.
Dude,
shut up. As long as it's somebody else's kid, I love it.
My God.
The
Holy Ghost ain't tell you to stop.
By the time Pastor Falls got up to speak, by the time PG got up to speak, the wife and Shamika went ahead and just said, let's go to the office. Take the kids to the office. Man, my bookshelves are knocked over, man. I got holes in the wall. No, I'm joking.
Well, I said, I sent Christian, I said, take Grayson downstairs. About 5 seconds later, he come back,
No, go ahead.
About 5 seconds later, he come back. Rosalind got him in the back. You can still hear him. The church ain't that big.
It's not that big, right? We can hear you, exactly. But I mean, it was a good weekend, man. But it wasn't a good week for everybody.
It wasn't a good week. It was
not a good week.
It was a traumatic week.
It's time for us to address
the submarine.
It's called a submersible.
Yeah, it's called the sub. It's called the
the sub vanished.
Everybody has had their take.
Everybody has had their take.
And y'all know y'all was waiting for our take. I know y'all
waiting for our take.
I know y'all was.
Okay.
Go ahead. You
okay, let's start this off. The big debate was, is it okay to joke about, because people went immediate as soon as it went missing. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were jokes about like SpongeBob SquarePants, like they're in Bikini Bottom. Somebody said if it was child support, they would have found them.
Right.
You know, I mean, it was just a lot of, and immediately exploded with the debate. Is it even appropriate? But I think culture in general, including black culture, there's like this combination of morbidity, like this morbid humor that just runs our, come on, we making Jeffrey Dahmer joke. People make Jeffrey, I mean, it's the world we live in, and black people have a black humor about themselves. It is indescribable, but there are so many layers of this. Lives lost are always tragic, no matter what. These are people's fathers, husbands, sons. And here's one thing. I'm on both sides of the fence.
Okay.
One side of the fence I'm on, why are we bashing people for being explorers? That's one side for me. Because that is what exploration is. There's never been a type of exploration that wasn't dangerous. People forgot some of our capsules and moon vehicles, whatever, didn't come back. Apollo 13 didn't come back, but barely, and some didn't come back at all. Challenger, the other one that exploded during the Bush years. There was another one that exploded over Texas on the way back. Another shuttle exploded.
Nobody knows.
Like 2000, nobody remembers? That's correct. And which goes back to a point Dave Chappelle made years ago, that when the Challenger exploded, that was the whole world.
That was it.
And then he said, now the Challenger explodes every day. So it's hard to focus in, because this story is going to pass.
Oh, yeah.
In about 3 days. Nobody's going to be talking about the Titan. It was called the Titan submersible, and that's all we knew. Titan submersible, going to see the Titanic, had a catastrophic implosion. Basically, the pressure was too big, which we understand if you've ever been in the air or under the sea. Air pressure is a real thing. You go down just a few meters just in like scuba diving or snorkeling or whatever, and your body be hit. So that, but the other part is like stupid billionaires wasting their money, foolish, like the whole joke. You do wonder about people who do things that are obviously foolish, and we wouldn't know it was foolish because we don't know anything about submarines or submersibles. But apparently the people who do, said that this had been dangerous the whole time, and they had warned them about it. And I just read an article yesterday about another father and son from Las Vegas who were like billionaires who declined to go on the trip after they got information about it, and they backed out. They backed out. Then another father and son, you know, and the story is, who knows if it's a real story, that the son really didn't want to go but wanted to make his father happy because it was Father's Day.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot to that.
Here's my little take on it. First of all, I didn't think it was funny. You know, like you said, I don't think it's ever funny when lives are lost. But here's my thing. $250,000.
That's a lot of money.
$250,000. I'm not sad, but here's my thing. If you had $250,000, you probably had some life insurance. If you had $250,000, your family is probably okay.
Yeah, they don't.
Although they lost.
Yeah, they're fine.
There are millions of people who are out here dying.
Right.
Especially black minority people who have to do GoFundMe funerals, who are getting shot up on the street, who ain't getting nearly the attention.
It's not for $250,000 either. It's $25.
Absolutely. But they ain't getting nearly the attention.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I get it. It was, to me.
But it's their right. It's their money.
It is their right. It's their right. I mean, if I had $1 billion, I wouldn't spend it to go to see Titanic.
I would if it was safer.
I wouldn't. It was smart. I watched the movie 3 times.
Right.
I know where it's at. I know where it's at. I know what happened to
somebody made a really good point, and we won't belabor this, but somebody did make a really good point about the joke side of it and sort of the lack of sympathy and empathy. And I wish I could find this video. And it was like, the guy was like, you really have to dig deep into this. He's like, you're talking about the masses of people, which is about 99.9% of people that don't have this kind of money.
Right.
Who have, our entire reality has been shaped by the wealth of the type of people who go on these trips. And watching them live their lives, and let's be clear, and I don't care which way you want to twist it, turn it, capitalism, whatever, I get it, everybody's entitled to their own, but the fact of the matter is the rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, the people that live in those types of economic, statuses, they get there by continuing to squelch and quench the little guy and take away health care. I mean, that's how these cats get buyouts. This is the group of people who get the tens of millions, billions of dollar buyouts when companies go down and whole factories are left. These are the people who get raise increases as they cut insurance. And so what he was saying was, if you're wondering why there's a lack of empathy, how can you expect such an unequal world to ever have empathy for the one time you see some kind of tragedy really come upon those individuals? He said, I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's, but he's just saying it was, you have to look at the whole picture. He's like, what he was saying, like, don't get dumb now.
Right.
Don't pretend like you don't know.
Because here's the thing.
Why people don't like to see the super rich sometimes come to a tragic end.
Here's the thing. What do? Okay, what do you want? I want a Tesla, I already got one. I want a Bugatti, I already got one. So what we gonna do?
We're
gonna go see the Titanic.
We're gonna go to Titanic, we're going to space, we're gonna look for Martians.
I know what we'll do.
But I'm saying, I got all that stuff, and I can do this only because I am living within the reality of ungodly amounts of wealth. Man, I'll be honest, I get a tinge of jealousy as a small town pastor, a guy trying to make it with a family, a person with dreams to bless his community. Every time I hear that somebody spent $250,000 to go to the moon or to go to see the Titanic, and I'm like, man, you could cut me a check right now and change my church's whole life. You could change my community's entire life.
Change the trajectory of war.
And I know that there's a billion foundations that for some reason all the average people never seem to hear about. Like, I wonder if it's fake money when they be talking about Jeff Bezos gave away this much money and Bill Gates gave. I'm like, how can you possibly give away this much money and I ain't got none of it yet? I'm just saying, it's a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like so much. Even given that, they still have money for spaceships. They still have money for submersibles. They still have money for submarines. And that's what the gentleman's point was.
Right.
The gentleman's point was that this is so indicative of the completely imbalanced reality.
I saw a lot of that too.
People.
I saw a lot of that.
You thought it was a scam?
There was a scam that If that's how you wanted to disappear, that's what Tupac done. He went up under the water. If that's how you wanted to disappear, this would be an easy way to do it, because they're saying nobody's ever going to find these bodies.
There's a lot of people that die, you don't find the bodies, though. I mean, they didn't find the bodies. I mean, I don't know if I want to find that body.
I'm just saying. But I did hear the one man, and I don't know.
Was it dead or something, or had?
No, how he got his doctorate degree. That none of these people suffered. That it was just.
They say when that implosion happens, they say it happens faster than the brain can process a thought.
They said they literally went unconscious, just like that.
Yeah. It's definitely done. You know, it's done. And I mean, that's not going to stop people from doing what they feel to do. Oh. And the funny thing about water, apparently, being out in international waters, like, it's so murky legally, like, there's no one to hold accountable. Okay, here's the other side of things. They were like, well, who's going to pay for all these rescue efforts that all these countries and everybody, I mean, it costs millions of dollars to send all this. But then again, when else are they ever going to go out there? They got all this specialized equipment just to rescue people like them.
Well, you got, I mean, outside of them, you got people who still bungee jumping.
I wanted to go skydiving when I went to Arizona.
I ain't doing none of that.
I wanted to go skydiving.
I ain't doing none of that.
We realized we had to like book a day or two in advance or whatever.
If God wanted us to fly, we'd have wings. I ain't doing none of it.
I'm with you, Jeff. I ain't going.
You're not doing it?
Nah, man, I'm good.
I gotta do some white people stuff at least once, man. I gotta ski off a mountain, something.
Now, my issue with the whole thing was how it took over the news cycle. When there were other tragedies going on,
that's what I was saying.
No coverage
there was like 500 people that died on a boat or something in Europe.
Right. I want to say like 700 people, 750.
Like 700 something. Yeah. And that's always the case. Is that there's always like some famous tragedy. We actually had one here in Warren. In Warren, I'll never forget the week that my beautiful, hey, Pastor George, that's my man PG, love you, man. The week our beloved Corey Stringer died was the same week a young girl tragically died in the city of Warren, and nobody paid attention. And I don't even know the young lady's name, or I can't think of the family, you know, but that's how much it just flew under just that day, because our hero passed, a child passed. They're both ridiculously bad tragedies, no doubt about it. You're not comparing tragedy to tragedy whatsoever, but it was a shame to watch what probably would have been an outpouring of support and probably would have been front page news and attention and fundraising and support for this little girl. It didn't happen. Pastor PG said with the Sharks. By the way, PG is coming on our show. He's a stinking genius, by the way, about youth ministry. He's a youth ministry genius, by the way.
Once again, that was my point, that all these other tragedies take place. If you had $250,000 to get on this thing, you cool. Your family is cool.
The story is, if you die, just tell people you're a billionaire so they'll put it on the news. They don't know.
True.
I mean,
I'm a billionaire to stay on the east side of Warren.
It's been real, y'all.
Carla, make sure I'm on the news.
Thank you for watching Religiously Incorrect. It's time for you know what, meme of the week. Pop it.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Welcome to Religiously Incorrect, ladies and gentlemen.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
Thank you. Send us your memes of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week.
We are, these are all jokes. We are just playing.
This meme of the week is not a video meme of the week. It's a traditional meme. You know what I decided memes are, Pastor Jeff?
What's that?
Memes are just photorealistic comics. Like comic strips. You know how you'd have like a comic strip, like a Peanut or the Caveman people
Saturday
or whatever?
morning. Mini page.
That's all memes really are, is like a 1 or 2 panel comic.
Todd ain't old enough to remember the mini page. Go ahead.
I do. I remember Curtis. Remember Curtis, the only black comic?
I remember Curtis from
Okay, put the meme up. What your cell phone sounds like in church. An explosion. Oh, we had one. Okay, I think that God punishes people who don't turn their cell phones off by making their volume go exponentially louder than it ever would at any other time. Because, listen, you can be in bed in dead silence and your phone can be ringing and you won't hear it. You could be in church and the pastor is preaching his head off and they will hear it down the street. They'll hear it in the neighborhood. And then there's always one person who thinks they've turned their phone off the first time. Glenn. And and they fumble with it and they do it. And then, because the person doesn't know you're in church, they call back. Right? They call back. And when they call back, we realize I did not really turn it. I almost wanted to climb over a pew at this installation service the other week. Like, give me the phone, old man. Give it to me. I will make sure.
Listen, at my stepdad's funeral,
yes,
the dude was steadily. It kept on going off.
Kept going off. Yes.
So have you heard this? Have you heard the story going around? The story going around about the cell phone.
In church?
Yeah.
And the man's so embarrassed?
Yeah, and then he goes to the bar.
I hate that story. It's the worst story ever. It's the worst story ever. There's like the society of we hate church people out there just making up stories about people being mistreated.
So let me tell y'all the story.
Tell
real
the story.
quick.
They've read it.
Let me tell you the story. If you haven't heard the story goes that the man was in church. His cell phone goes off. The pastor looks at him crazy. The wife looks at him crazy. All the members look at him crazy. He leaves church. He's embarrassed. He's so embarrassed that he decides to go to the bar. He tries to go to the bar and have a drink. He has a drink. He drops the beer or whatever. He drops it on the ground. He like, oh, I'm so sorry. They're like, oh, it's all right. It's all right. You know, you cool. Everybody starts buying him another drink. The point of it is that he never goes back to church, but he stayed at the bar.
It's the worst story ever, man.
Because the people at the bar showed him compassion, but the people at church, there's a sign that said turn your cell phone off.
Exactly. I mean,
it's all on the bulletin. I know y'all don't read the bulletins.
Yeah. Who still has bulletins? Who still has bulletins? I haven't heard that word in a minute. Bulletins. Take out your bulletins. Ele said, old folks at their church just answered and head to the doors. Listen, I will say no name, hey, Brother Lorenzo, bear no blame, but I know several preachers that will just answer the phone and have a whole conversation in the pulpit. In the pulpit.
Like that, like y'all can't see us.
Like we can't. Oh, a whole conversation.
Hold on.
Y'all worship is interrupting my conversation right now. I need y'all to tone this music down. I'm trying to have this completely unnecessary conversation. I mean, but I hate that story. But you know what I hate more? People's cell phones going off in church. So maybe I was the guy that told off. And then we all have the same joke. We all have the same joke now in church. Unless it's Jesus calling. Unless Jesus is calling, don't answer it. But I don't even want to hear it.
So Elder Carters don't go off in church? Because you know she got that text message. Text message.
She got that one to tell you who's calling.
I'd be like, what in the world?
Jeff said you got a disability phone, Elder Carter, and I don't appreciate it.
Text message.
I don't appreciate it.
Text message.
Listen, Pastor George, just, you know, I think he lost about 30% of the audience today when he said, if you have your Bible app on an iPhone, pull it out. And he said, if you have an Android, there's a dumpster outside. There's a dumpster outside. I said, yes, sir.
I'm sorry, George, you can't be on the show anymore.
Oh, right, he can't be on the show anymore. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, we should know by now. We have the graphics. You know, we put them up on the screens. Please silence your cell phones. This shouldn't even have to be said anymore. And who still has an actual ringer on a cell phone? Who like a ringer? I can't remember the last time my phone rang. Like rang. It buzzes.
Yes.
It vibrates. You can feel the phone ringing.
But see, that's the problem.
You just know it's ringing across the room.
If I don't put it on silent, if I hear it vibrating, I gotta check it. And I don't even want to check it in church.
I'll look at it because I use my phone. I communicate with the musicians and the tech people.
Right.
Sometimes I get announcements. I feel bad when I miss them. Sometimes somebody be like, "Hey, don't forget to mention such and such," and I forget. You know, I'm never looking when I need to. That's the problem. I'm never looking. I'll be looking all service, and then somebody will send me something I needed to see before I dismissed, and I didn't look down. But yeah, y'all cut it out with the ringers, man. Cut it out with the ringers. All right, y'all.
Cut your ringers off.
Cut your ringers off. All right, we're gonna have a ringer deliverance service, and if you don't, just go to the bar, man. Just go be a sinner. Bye. I mean, just go. If it meant that much to you, knock yourself out. All right, y'all. Today's episode, as always, is brought to you by the Phillips Care family of businesses, beginning with Phillips Lawn Care Services. And why? Because we finally got some rain and grass is finally growing.
Yes, yes.
So you might need your grass cut, branches trimmed, weeds and debris hauled away. Phillips Care are the people to call. Lawn care starting at $30 in the Tri-County area, 330-219-7916. Check them out. And while you're at it, anything concerning your home, your business, I don't care if it's commercial, residential, if you need clean out, carpet cleaning, if you need restoration work done, deep cleaning, even moving services, all of that could be done by the Phillips Care Cleaning Service. Look them up online, Phillips Care LLC on Facebook, or call my man Fernando again at 219-7916, all in the 330. Go on ahead, Jeff.
We got a whole audience here. Hey,
We have a studio audience.
If y'all want to come up to the studio office, just come on up here.
Hey, we need one of them 80s. Hey, we need like the 80s. Family Matters is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
People just suddenly walking in.
We got kids here. It's like a Disney tour going through. Like
I'm
one of
about to
them.
add a laugh track.
We got a laugh track.
What's going on here?
People just wandering in the studio. Hey, bless you, Lorenzo.
They got food.
They got snacks.
Snacks. What is good? Hey, pass me a Twinkie.
They got a concession stand back here. They got crawling through windows. Bruh man from the 5th floor, then just came through the window. What is happening? Yo, y'all got any sandwiches? This is hilarious. But we're enjoying the energy, man. We're loving it. Hey, today's episode, Pastor Jeff, is officially titled Chicken and Perfume.
Chicken and Perfume.
Chicken and Perfume.
My God.
That is my poetic title for this service because it is a tribute to the lost art of the afternoon church service.
My God.
Because the official smell, the official scent of the afternoon church service, the 4 o'clock service, the fellowship service, the district meeting, the 100 Women in White, Usher #2 program, choir #4 anniversary, the official church scent of an afternoon service is chicken and perfume.
My God.
Because after the morning service, everyone has gone home, got a nap, ate some fried chicken, and then on their way back to church, they try to spritz themselves with some perfume, come back to church like we're not going to smell the chicken. And on top of that, because it's an afternoon service, there's somebody going to be selling chicken in the basement of the service, and you can smell it.
Wait a minute. Before we go too far, I need to say
it. Perfume
is Lagerfeld and White
White Diamonds.
Lagerfeld, you know it.
Lagerfeld
White Diamonds.
Listen, and because hey KB, what's up, Pastor Barnes? And because it's the afternoon service as fellowship, there's always more people in the church that need to be sweaty and tired and funky, and you can just feel the fried foods coming out of their pores. And then there's the one drunk that staggers in, and you can feel the alcohol coming out of his pores. It's always one.
It's about 3 of them that you got the itis.
Got the itis. Oh, yeah.
I don't care how well you preaching.
Oh, yeah.
In the afternoon service, somebody gonna fall asleep.
But we need to bring this back because this was before even COVID.
Right.
We were beginning to lose the afternoon service.
Yes.
We were made, honestly, not by Sunday mornings, but by afternoon services. My best memories of church came from getting up and going to somebody's, because afternoon service, anybody can go in anybody's church. And if you do like some of our Baptist Kojic people, my wife introduced me to this. I thought it was the wildest thing. I'd never seen it like this before because I wasn't raised Kojic. They would say, we're having a program, anniversary, fellowship district meeting, and their church, is right near us. Might seat like 60, 70 people, maybe. They'd invite like 19 churches to one service.
Absolutely.
To one service. just preachers all across.
And everybody had to have say something.
Everybody has to say something. So here's the number one that you learn as a young minister in the afternoon service is pulpit musical chairs.
You gonna get
Pulpit
up.
musical chairs. Because if you are the junior minister in the room,
Getting up.
Well, here's the first thing. Because you're the junior minister and you're the little young goober, you're there on time.
You're there on time. You're trying
You're
to
there
get
on
there.
time.
Yep.
You're the one that's got to sing Yes, Lord, and open up the service when nobody's there. It's like you, a church mother, and 4 kids. There's no musicians. The guitar player's still plugging up. The drummers coming in. We're going to talk about the drummers in a minute. I'm going to talk about y'all drummers in a minute. Because the drummers take at least 2 hours to get set up because they got to come. They got to all bring their own equipment.
Bring their own, yes. Take down a whole other drum set to put theirs up.
To put your own drum set up.
I'm like, what was the matter with what was there?
Man, I got to bring my...
And I didn't learn. I didn't learn for a long time. Until I became the pastor, I didn't know that you had to bring your own. Now you're supposed to bring your own snare.
Oh, yeah, they get you, man. Your own sticks, your own snare, man. And if you got some rough cats around like good Pastor Barnes here, you need to bring your own pedal and your own cymbals, too, because this brother is about to break something. Because he was going to break something. If he gets done, he's going to kill it. But afternoon services, it could be any one of those things I mentioned. If it's a denominational meeting for like your little region or district or whatever, maybe it was like a choir program or musical or like a deacon or deaconess day, but you could guarantee that people are going to get in and fellowship, and it always starts off slow. It always starts off slow. And people just like trickle in and get there when they get there. Yeah. And then the host church has to try to drag out the time until the guests finally arrive, and they have to put their program on first. I did not know this terminology growing up in a non-denominational church or the type of church I grew up in. My wife would be like girlfriend at the time. Okay, so we have to do our program. And I'm like, y'all doing your own church service? Like, no, we have to do our program. And the program is when they call on your church, the minister has to give up and give words. He has to get up and give words, some kind of exhortation. There's always, and then that's the art of preacher small talk. The art of preacher small talk. You got to get up and you must compliment. There's preacher rules behind this.
Oh, yeah.
When you visit another church at a fellowship service, you get the mic, you have to honor your wife. Mm-hmm. Okay? And we had a meme about that we didn't put up. Because some people be talking their wives up and then they stand up. I'd be like, oh, Lord. Who are you talking
She's
about?
the lily of my valley.
The sugar in my tank.
My BlackBerry phone. What? What? She's your what? She's the peanut butter of my jelly.
She's the signal to my sprint.
Then she stand up. You like, nah, dog.
Dog, you the jack to the leg. That's what you are. Okay, you got to give honor to the wife. Then you have to, of course, comment on how well dressed the pastor is. Oh, don't he look good, y'all? Uh-huh. Especially if it's anniversary. Don't they look good, y'all? Stand up so they can see you.
In that four-piece.
8-piece of the biscuit on a bearskin rug with a whole living room.
The jacket came down below their knee.
Then you have to use this word that I did not know until I started going to fellowship services. You have to use this word when you describe the church you're in. It's not a church. It's not a sanctuary. It's an edifice.
Edifice.
It's an edifice. We are here in this glorious edifice. And then you have to comment on how hard the pastor has worked to make the edifice beautiful. Mm-hmm. It might still have the same wood paneling from 1942, but he's been working hard to make this edifice. You have to get up, so after he's done with all that small talk, then he's got to route up the people for a minute. Ain't God good? Ain't even good to you? Tell your neighbor, yada, yada, yada. Then he has to present his program. And you never know what you're going to get with this program. They could come with a full choir, which is ideal. Uh-huh. But sometimes it can just be the pastor's 3-year-old niece that knows how to say her gospel ABCs. And they will talk them up like, I have an anointed niece. And she's only 3 years old. And she gonna get up and be like, God said. And so you have to visit your program. And then it just goes over and over and over again.
I love it.
And that was the fellowship service.
I miss it.
That was the fellowship service.
I miss it. And that one part when they get up to begin to encourage the people, it was always, because y'all don't know how good God's been. Because when I think back
on the goodness
of the Lord.
Put me in E flat.
And all.
That's my line, buddy. That's my line, Doc.
I'm like,
whenever you're losing the crowd, just pull that out, man. You got it.
It will go.
Then people start to wake up. And here's how you know the service about to jump. Here's how you know. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what's musical, anniversary, fellowship, district. When the good musicians show up.
Oh yeah. When Raymond Bonner comes.
When the crew shows up.
Raymond Bonner comes, it's like,
And they know.
about to have church.
They know. They know. They know. They're sitting at Denny's. You know, they're hanging out. I was the young one. I was the starter. I was the starter musician. I was the guy that would get the church going, but I wasn't the guy that was gonna finish off this service.
Right.
Raymond, Quayne, Mike Herron, Eddie Howard.
Did they push you off like in 5 Heartbeats?
Bruh, yeah, something like that. Something like that. When the good musicians show up,
That's when the service
about to
goes
pop.
up every time.
it's about to pop. You know, when the Shaws show up, you know, when the Howards walk in the room, it's the Eldridges come through. Those are our local. For those of you from around the country, those are our famous names this way. You might have your own, but these are ours, you know. And you knew it was popping. And even the preachers would wait.
Yeah.
And no preacher wanted to be up early when the sorry musicians were there. They want to be up when the good guys are there. And then you just church and shout. And by that time, everybody has literally gotten over the itis. And you have some good church, man. I don't care if it's Baptist, Kojic. You have some good church once you get over that itis, man, or somebody testify.
See, now there is a little difference though in between the Kojic and the Baptist.
Right.
Because the Kojic was waiting for that good musician. Excuse me. The Baptist was waiting for that one old lady.
Yeah.
That one old lady, that one old mama.
To get up and start talking and
She couldn't even get up. She
Right.
sat down.
Sat down.
And she just sang,
Yeah.
No, I've been changed. And the whole church would go in.
Go in.
Go
Right.
straight in.
You get that one good mother, that one good deacon. That's all you need.
That's
to raise a hymn. You know, raise that devotional.
Yes.
And get it going, hand clap, foot stomp. And you know, you about to have a good church right
As a
there.
Baptist, the musicians wasn't coming back out on Sunday night.
Listen, they was out smoking.
You was on you having a Sunday night service.
gotta
You on your
find-
own.
Listen, they gonna be back and forth, and every time they come back, they stumbling a little bit more than they were the time before. Like, brother, save the Thunderbird for after service. So yeah, I mean, but we've lost the art of the afternoon service, and I genuinely believe that the afternoon. Elder Caper said, "I know the house has already been addressed,
but
listen, protocol has been established. Protocol has been established. We give honor to the bishop. But here's the thing: we've lost something in the afternoon service. The musical chairs, as goofy as it seems and sounds, it taught you the rank of honor, and some people overdid it. Some people would really overdo it. I was not only pushed off some organ benches, I was pushed off some pulpit chairs altogether. Like, you don't even belong here now. Like, you only belonged here when nobody else was here.
right.
You are our favorite person when nobody else is here. Soon as the bishop or the superintendents and the older generals show up, you move from the side seat right next to the preacher to the end seats that have no arms to them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you go from the main tall chairs on this, because you know, y'all see the hierarchy in the church.
Oh, yeah.
How it used to be the main chair with the king's chair. Then you have the two princess chairs on each side. Then you have like the servant's chair. They have no arms. Then you mess around and too many preachers come in. You're in the choir stand.
Or they bring up one of those little folding
Or
chairs.
you have to sit on the folding chair against the wall.
We need some more chairs up there.
Or you just stand. You're just gonna stand the rest of the service. So you were taught honor,
Right.
okay? You were taught order. How many times have you seen people have to like get up and correct stuff in services like afternoon services?
Oh my God.
I mean, I remember once upon a time, and I won't say any names, but back in the day, there could only be one bishop in the room. And at times when the other guys showed up that just had a shirt and a collar, they would let them know, hey, here
Right. At this house?
You brother, you pastor, you this, you that. You know, unless, you know, they was really a respect, like they really came in like from the top. But you didn't have all this runaround because they would get you together real quick in those types of services. But you also learn how to cooperate in fellowship.
Oh yeah.
Because you would end up by the end of the night making one big choir. And when that church got up that had a week program, and that soloist would get up to present their church's program and sing a song that has a background, and she can't sing her own background. and the church becomes the background.
That's it.
And when she gets to win the storms, and they just come right in. And if you invite people outside of our culture, they be like, how y'all know this song? We be like, listen. When you come into our churches, you are automatically drafted in. You just end up, you come in and say, you just go, the musician out you know Total Praise? There's no rehearsals. Do you know how many of the best worship moments, praises, songs, solos, choir selections came with no rehearsal? That choir that only has one musician, they get to play with 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
They got cats on the guitar and bass making them sound better than they ever sounded before. I mean, that's what you miss when you miss the afternoon service.
Dion's saying God is today. Man, listen.
By himself. Dion's trained, man. Dion is trained. He's one of them old school brothers that can just sing a whole choir song by himself. What's up, Pastor Tatum? I saw you enjoying Florida. I think it was Florida she was in.
Okay.
And I grieve a little bit because honestly, nobody wants to really go to afternoon services anymore. But I think we're missing.
I remember one time, now it's saying afternoon service, but with Friday night.
Oh, Friday night?
Friday night, me, and you can tell how long this was, but Jinx, Eric, EOS.
EOS.
We all rode around Youngstown and Warren from like 8 o'clock to almost 11 o'clock looking for a church that was open on a Friday night.
Right.
And couldn't find one.
We used to go looking for churches. Who's having church tonight?
Yes.
Who's having a service? Who's having a fellowship?
A church so bad.
Right.
And wasn't none open.
You just wanted to be there. You just wanted to go to church. But there's something else. I really do feel like Sunday morning was always the main event, but these afternoon services were often a place where you could sort of hone your skills and learn. Like, for instance, old school deacons and ministers. So in the Baptist church, it's deacons. You learn how to be a deacon and how to serve, how to get up with the other brothers and do that devotion. They call on you to pray. You know, as a minister, again, when I was going to St. Paul and going to the district meetings and stuff, they're like, all right, we're going to have this young minister do the prayer. We're going to have you got your feet wet doing those types of services. Hey, Sister Patricia, you got those the feet wet doing those, and you practice on musicians. The young musicians would play at offering time, or again at the very beginning, play their little special selection. You give them the little claps, and they push you off. Let the real musicians come on. That's where we built who we are. But I think like we've become what I would call main event church.
Absolutely.
Main event church. What's up, Pastor Les?
Yes,
love
Pastor
you.
Les.
Hey, this is Pastor Les's phrase. Bless your bones, my brother. Bless your bones. Love you, man. And what was I saying?
That's where you learn.
Oh, that's where you, say it again? Oh, yeah, that's where you learn. That's where you grew. But now that we have main event services where everything has to be so polished, there's no room
Right.
to kind of grow into that.
Do they let you make the mistake?
That's all right, baby.
Right. Here's one of the things.
Yeah.
And you,
Bless
as
the Lord.
a minister, you had to be ready.
You had to be ready to preach.
You had to, because I went to
Yes.
Hoyt Street one time.
Right.
I ain't have a word. I ain't have a note.
Get up here and say
I ain't
something.
have nothing.
Get up here and say
Pastor
something.
Morgan was like, hey, you come on up here. Come on.
They would have every minister do 5 minutes,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
preach offs, and we would just get up there and just holler about nothing. I mean, because they only gave you 3 minutes. Like, you got 3 minutes. What am I saying 3 minutes? Ain't God good? Ain't he all right? He brought me a long way. And you just get up there and just do it. Everybody support each other. And that was just love. I mean,
Absolutely.
and even if you weren't the greatest speaker or whatever, people just got behind you. Them mothers be clapping. My grandmother, my wife's grandmother had that heavy hand clap. You know, that heavy, that's that green. You know, we making greens with these hands. I mean, this is cornbread.
Absolutely. Tambourines.
Right, tambourines.
I ain't seen a tambourine in the church in a long time.
Tambourines that would keep the shout going
Keep it going.
when the music
start it
stopped.
up.
Or start it up. I am still hiring some professional tambourine players at Second Baptist, by the way, because I know the click tracks is taking over, but nothing beats a good, hard beating tambourine, let's be honest. You know, nothing beats a good.
No males apply. no males are to apply. Please.
Canceled.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
You're canceled, Doc. You're canceled.
I don't know, man. Kojic, some
They're
of
the
the
best.
best tambourine players was
They're the
there.
best,
I'm telling
though.
you, they was tearing them up.
They was tearing them up, bro. But I feel like something's been lost. She said my tambourine wrist. She got tambourine wrist. She went to the doctor The doctor diagnosed her with tambourine wrist.
No, baby, that ain't arthritis. That's tambourine wrist.
That's tambourine wrist. You got tambourine tendon. tambourine tendonitis. Okay, that's another one, Sister McFadden. I grew up on tent services.
Who?
In the summer, tent service. She meant to say tent.
Okay.
I knew what she was saying. Tent service. That's a whole nother.
Oh my God.
That's a whole nother thing. We used to do 7 straight days of tent services with Agape and Greater Apostolic, Bishop Wells, and Bishop Edge at Quimby Park. And
My first tent revival was with you.
It was
at Quimby
right.
Park. Yep.
It was with us. And I mean, all night long at Quimby Park. And I never forget the one year we went home and watched the news, and a bear had been spotted near the park.
Listen,
It was a bear in Warren.
listen, Quimby is bad, but I used to do the ones with Loretto on 4th Street in
Oh, the
Highland.
4th Street revivals.
As hardcore as I thought I was.
Nah, man.
About 9 o'clock, I'm like, we need to wrap this up, man.
Yo.
The Holy Ghost is done.
The Holy Ghost is
left.
done. It's over.
Let's go.
It's over.
Pull the plug.
Right. Wrap them suckers.
Happiness is over. Let's go.
Man, the brothers used to stay overnight and guard the tent
Yes.
at night. I mean, that's what I'm just saying, this is like what we grew up on and what our kids are missing out on. They don't know what it's like to have to get up. Rarely, you know how many afternoon services we'll do in a year? Maybe 2. Maybe 2 afternoon services in a year where I'm invited somewhere in an afternoon service and preach, maybe. If I go to anything, it's usually by myself.
Right.
Church vans, or getting the bus. Oh, I forgot to mention, when you have the program and there's the one church that's bringing a bus.
Oh, yeah.
There's always one church from out of town. And we waiting on them to come in from Columbus or West Virginia.
The chartered bus.
The chartered bus.
Man. The
By
Greyhound.
the way, the church already didn't have a parking lot.
Right.
There's already, there's a rule. If you are a church hosting a fellowship of multiple churches, I think it's in the Constitution, you are not allowed to have an actual parking lot. You have to park. Somebody always gets stuck. You always have to call out somebody's license plate. And there's always the out-of-town charter bus church.
That was President Michael here.
President Harrison.
Would get
The charter bus
the
church.
Big Jones.
Yes.
The
And park outside the church.
the Greyhounds.
Yes.
I'm like, what are we doing here?
I love
Loved
it. And that was life. That was life. Park on the grass, y'all. You need to be parking on the grass. They park on one wheel in the ditch. And they're all up and down. I mean, you can see the saints in these 9-piece suits walking from a half mile away down the middle of the street to get to church.
High heels, all in the
High heels,
grass.
all in the mud. I love it. What else we got?
What y'all forgetting though is like when the small church had the programs, and there were so many people coming, they go to rental corral and
Get
the
them chairs?
put them in the aisle.
No. They didn't go to rental corral. Them is chairs they didn't take back to rental corral 10 years ago.
Right. They kept
They still say rental corral, but rental corral ain't seen them chairs.
But look, they say rental corral, but then they got the church name on it.
Right,
And
beside it.
But it ain't the church, because they didn't buy
It's
these
a whole
church
other
off
church.
somebody else.
It came from the
Yeah, oh,
Presbyterian church. All the black churches had these chairs that say Third Presbyterian Church on them. Because the Methodist Church felt bad for them and donated all their church, all
And
their
they
old
wouldn't.
chairs.
They wouldn't.
They wouldn't. You're
They
getting
wouldn't.
splinters. It's the fire. It's the biggest fire hazard known to man. Biggest fire hazard. Then there's a 2-hour offering.
Oh, my God.
You got to have a whole sermon for the offering, which brings about the most famous phrase for fellowship offering services, fellowship offerings, and that's musicians, give us some marching music.
Give us some marching music. Y'all know, come on. Everybody say blessed, blessed, blessed.
Retire.
The official song of 90s and early 2000s offerings. The official sound. Or just want to praise you. Or 4 offerings. Yeah, because you got to take the general offering. Then there's the pastor's offering. Then there's the seed offering, at the end. But, just want to praise you. Bless. You can't beat.
That is the most recognizable come in. That I just want to. You
Just want to praise you. You know where it's going. And don't mess up. Don't mess up and be the musician not giving the minister what he wants. Because then he'll accuse you of killing the spirit. And he'll be like, folk ain't gonna give like this. They need to be happy. You gotta be happy when you give.
Get on up off them drums. Get on up off them drums.
This is our tribute to Pastor Carmen Bowman. Get up off them drums, boy.
Get on up off them drums.
Get on out of here with that. That's my tribute to Pastor Carmen Bowman. Get on up out of here with that. You got to.
Unbelievable.
You off beat, son. You off beat. I mean, people say, how did the church become what it is? Like this. It really didn't become this way off Sunday mornings. This is where the church is the church, and the church be packed trying to march.
Yes.
Call ourselves trying to march. And the ones, and you want to talk about?
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
When you talking about marching, what about the march-in choirs?
The march in
The march-in.
choir.
The march-in deacons.
3 steps and a twist. The turn.
What?
You got to pause.
What?
You got to pause and turn. With them special outfits they made,
Yes,
and the men got to wear matching ties.
Yes.
Listen, y'all don't know. This is what made us.
It made us.
That one seamstress, we just need $50 more. Listen, we need $50 more. No, it would always be an odd number. Like, we need $59 more. And I'll come to you. You need me to come to you? We'll come to you. I don't mind. There's a blessing in giving. We saints, we've come up a little short.
Has everybody given?
Has everybody given?
Has everybody given?
Did y'all check downstairs?
Come on in from out the back.
Okay, listen. That's the official. We invited a church, and our own church didn't show up. So we just talk to people that don't exist. I don't know where my people at today.
Come on in from out the back.
Come on in from now.
We know y'all cooking chicken. Come on in.
We know y'all out there. It must be something going on in the city today. You know, people, they must have forgot. But the marches, the Usher March, the deacon marches, the ushers, hands behind the back.
Oh, my goodness.
Brother, soldiers.
10 and 2.
My grandmother, bless her heart, she loved nothing better. Mother Simpson loved nothing better than to see people in uniformity in the church. And uniformity. You know, all
they know how to switch, because the one usher be here,
right?
One usher be here,
and they get that signal.
They
get that secret West Side gang sign. They do that fraternity thing they be doing.
Looking like the S1W for Public Enemy.
Right? They look like Public Enemy.
There's an official usher school.
Oh, there's a school.
There's an usher.
There's manuals, conventions. It's like going to clown college.
You want some water?
You want these? Get Jeff some water, because his body armor ain't doing it. He got that Todd Johnson disease.
Yeah, please.
No, so, I mean, but that was beautiful. You learned how to be. You learned how to function. You about to throw a water up in this piece. You just toss that sucker. There we go. And he dropped it. And he dropped it.
I did know how to play
hands.
football. I was a football
Hey, what do we call him?
I was
Ethan?
a running back.
Ethan, what do we call him? You called him no hands? I heard you. He said no hands.
No hands.
No.
It's dark in here, y'all.
It's dark.
It just looked that way. It looks that way on TV.
We're in the studio right now. It's dark. Oh, yeah. So the choir marches, the usher marches, the deacon marches. You know, I mean, that's afternoon programs.
Afternoon programs.
And listen, you can't have an afternoon program without sending that letter out to every church in the city.
Every church.
Single church. And you're asking them to bring their choir. And here's another word that you must use, that you're not allowed to write a letter unless you use this word, this phrase. And we'd like your choir to come and render.
Render.
You have to come
render
and render an A and B selection. We want your choir to come and render unto us. And then when they call you up, they say, and they're going to come in their own way.
Yes, yes.
These are words you only hear in black church afternoon services. That she's going to come in her own way. We don't know what she's going to do. She might do gospel juggling. She might have a poem for you. This young man might, I kid you not, we had one youth explosion. I don't know whose idea this was. This was at our church at Agape at the, we had like a youth explosion at the school. We had some kids do backflips. In church, run down the aisle and do backflips. They came in their own way. They were jumping for Jesus.
Wait a minute.
They were flipping out of sin.
When I was at Agape, we had one group. We had the one group. It was two little, and they did the dance this.
They came in their own way.
They came. And then you have the one lady who she's gonna come and she's gonna give a sermonic solo.
She's gonna give a sermonic solo.
Sermonic solo. So you have that as well.
And she it's two phrases you have to say. One first, if it's a solo, the soloist has to say, I'm a little hoarse and I'm not my best. I'm not my best right now. And if it's a group or a choir, you have to say, just a portion of our choir.
It's a small portion.
This is just a portion. Brother, this is a whole choir.
Then you go to their church and it's less than came.
Right.
Y'all know y'all grab two people off the street.
This is just a portion of our choir.
And you can do that. You can grab because they wore robes. So
you could do that.
You could do that.
You could grab anybody off the street and put them in a robe.
Put them in a robe.
Wear your black and white. I don't care if your black pants is shiny. They've been ironed 100 times. You're wearing your black and white. Okay, every fellowship service, I mentioned the drunk earlier, but let's just be clear. Every fellowship service has a strange person in it.
Oh, absolutely.
Every fellowship service. Every special
somebody walking
service,
in.
Somebody's walking in. And here's the crazy thing. The church, no matter how many lessons and how many times we've been here before, the church gives them the time of day.
Gives
At some point in the service, they're gonna either jump up and testify, ask to sing a song, or do something. And the church is gonna say,
give him the mic.
The church is gonna give him the mic and say, this young man wants to come in his own way.
Help him, Lord. Help him, Lord.
He said, Lord, help my pastor. Mother March is praying for me right now. and they give him the time of day, and then you have to rescue the service from the strange person.
Right.
You have to. You have to rescue the service. You have to pull it back. And then the minister has to get up and say, all right, God bless you, God bless you. We all have our own struggles.
But you help them out too. God gonna do something good. God gonna do something. God gonna do something.
Everybody come lay hands on him right now. We gonna lay hands on him.
God gonna do something.
As soon as the person gets lost with the testimony or tries to walk it out, we gonna lay hands on him right now. Right? All the ministers come down and we gonna bless them. And that's life. But then what did Rosalind say? New Freedom would feed them soul food meals. Then you have to announce. There are dinners for sale.
There are dinners for sale.
Mo chicken.
There are Mo chicken.
As if we didn't know because we smelled it. So the whole thing.
We smelled it. There's chicken and French fries, or fish. You get you some chicken wings, only $5. Back in the day, just $5.
Get you something to go. Get you something to go.
Get you something for the road. Piece of pound cake, off-brand pop.
And what's
it's
the great?
It's always off-brand pop.
But what y'all don't know is the pastor always they put on the side.
We already got ours.
You get yours. We already got ours. We got ours.
The great. I love him. I love him to life. I love him to life. Love the entire family to life. The great Superintendent Tyrone Humphreys. Inspirational. House of Prayer, Church of God in Christ. Inspirational Church of God in Christ up in Painesville. The greatest line he ever gave me when I went up there one time to preach. He was like a youth service, a youth explosion. I go back in his office. He's a bigger fella. He had a giant plate of chicken. And the first thing he said when I walked in the door is, preacher, you want some of this bird? He said, preacher, want some of this bird right here? There's some good chicken right here, but I got some hot sauce. And I mean, the whole desk was this plate of chicken they brought to him. And I realized that was my first time being in like the privileged place. Like, I'm not down in the basement waiting in line.
Right.
I'm up with the preacher now who's got his own plate of chicken. Then you go on in life, and I'm down with Bishop Clark, and he's like, I have this smoked salmon salad with balsamic vinaigrette. And we're eating the chicken, and they're sitting there eating this special diet. But that was the best thing, and I thought it was joking. I was like, and I knew, he saw a joke about how he loved chicken. And then one time they came on the charter bus.
My God.
To Hoyt Street Church of God in Christ. And when he got off the charter bus, and of course, I'm the young early musician. They come in, Aaron gets on, the crew gets on, they're playing. First thing he does is get up and say, Saints, on the way down here, I had a little mishap. I was eating a little piece of chicken and chipped my tooth on the bone. But God is good anyhow. And I'm like, this is only Sunday night service. This is only Sunday night service when you would hear this. What did Roslyn say? Pastor Reed wasn't selling. He said, I'm talking fried chicken. Oh, you got the whole...
The shebang.
And you're absolutely right. Listen, you want to get your congregation back? Have some dinner.
Yeah.
You want to get your congregation back? You know why folks ain't coming back to afternoon service? Thank you, Sister Rosalind. Because y'all ain't feeding the folk no more. Y'all ain't feeding the folk no more. It used to be, didn't matter what the occasion was, it used to be the soul food dinner, some pound cake or some pie, and a sheet cake.
Yes.
Had to be a sheet cake.
Sweet potato pie.
Congratulations, choir number 3, on your 60th anniversary. And it had to be cut into extra double small slices.
It's amazing that you had 3 choirs, 3 and 4 choirs, and now we can't hardly
get one. You can't get one.
My God.
What you got, Mike?
I don't know about y'all, but we was there Sunday morning till 1, 2 o'clock.
Right.
Had to be back at 4.
Back at 4.
Was there till about 6. Then had YPWW at 7.
Ooh.
Testimony service at 8.
Yes,
So
sir.
we was literally there all day.
That's the way Mike is, the way he is.
Right.
He's got church down to his side. But I mean, no, we were. You were there all day.
Woo. Old mothers ain't cooking and young ones ain't cleaning.
Oh, that's a word.
You better
That's
talk.
a word.
Woo, that'll preach.
Because I don't want some of these young meals. I don't want some of these, you know. Now they down there. You know what they down there? The youth department used to be the youth department, raising money. And or the women's auxiliary, and they'd be selling chicken or fish with fries.
Right.
Or some potato salad or greens or something. Well, green beans on the side, right? Now they doing walking tacos. I know. Now they doing burritos.
Listen, I didn't have some macaroni and please.
Macaroni and please.
What is this?
Macaroni and yellow water.
Right, you done put some old Velveeta on top of this show.
Struggle macaroni.
I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, we need the stuff that stick to you. Stuff that have you nodding off on. Stuff that make you want to go home, take a plate. And you know how you had to do. You had to get that partition plate and make your plate. And then take another partition plate and put it over it. And then ask, anybody got some foil?
Got some foil?
Anybody got some foil? Because we didn't have, back in the day, we didn't have them little takeout things that they go to GFS and buy now. We didn't have that. You had to get 2 plates, put it on top of each other,
Yes, sir.
and get some foil.
Sometimes you had, if they got the real thin ones, you had to get 4.
You had to get 4 of them. Yeah, because it'd bleed through.
Yeah.
So you had to get 4 of them. Then you put your little piece of Hey Baby that they're watching on YouTube. Then you put your little piece of pound cake on top, and you have your Faygo orange pop. And you going home happy.
My God.
You going? I'm hungry for it
Faygo
right
pop,
now.
boy,
That Faygo.
Faygo red.
Faygo. How Faygo?
Faygo grape.
red.
Every grape.
Faygo grape?
Grape every
Grape,
time.
yeah, grape.
How does Faygo not have a black church endorsement deal yet? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Faygo has missed out on a prime opportunity.
They marketed it all wrong. They should have had a Kojic version.
Baptist
version.
Well, the Baptist
I'm telling
version.
you.
Baptist version is going to be liquor. I mean, to be honest, we have a contract with Crown Royal.
The Faygos and the Huggies for the kids.
Huggies for the kids, brother.
Y'all better not touch that pop.
And if you don't have the Faygo, then somebody had to make the church punch.
Yes.
With the sherbet.
The church punch.
The church punch
was
with the sherbet floating in it.
Yes.
With little foam on the top.
And your kitchen floor, your floor always got
gotta
little,
be sticky.
little stains on it.
Got stains on it right underneath
Right.
where the little thing is. You got
Yes,
a
sir.
little coffee can, little old coffee can to catch the drippings. You had to have an old Folgers coffee can on the floor, right by the edge of the table to catch the drippings.
Absolutely.
And then you would dare to pray for the saints to have good health after feeding them diabetes and hypertension.
It was
You know,
good, though.
that was, but the saints were kept. The saints were kept. They brought the insulin with them. They knew. I mean, people would be, listen, this is afternoon church, y'all. We would watch the mother start to fade out and get her a mint. Like, all right, mother need a mint. Hey, y'all get Deacon a piece of candy. Y'all, his sugar low. Get him a piece of
my
candy.
God.
This was Sunday night. And keep praising God. And keep praising God. Don't let somebody get sick or something go wrong. We forgot about this. Don't let something go wrong.
Oh, it's the devil.
It's the devil. We gonna bind up the devil. if the mics go out,
We're going to praise our way through this.
we're gonna praise our way through this. The devil ain't gonna get the victory tonight. I don't know why this mic is acting. I don't know why this CD skipping like this.
Listen, Jesus didn't have a Hammond B3.
Right.
Moses didn't have no keyboard when he was walking on Red Sea.
The lights start flickering, somebody gets sick. That ain't nothing but the devil trying to stop God's blessing, and we need to have a prayer, and it turns into a revival. The mothers get to praying. See, that's what I'm talking. This is church we miss.
And then I know we talked about it, but the funniest thing was when they would count that money right in front.
Right on the table.
Right
Brother.
on that table.
On the table.
Deacons be serious.
What you got? I got 50 here. I got 50. You got 50.
And then they write a little
And
note.
they write a little note. Send it up. Send it up to the preacher. Listen, y'all wasn't raised right. I'm just saying, y'all wasn't raised right. I know some of y'all think y'all old school. You think you're old school, but we are the last to. If you weren't raised in a church where you, Dr. Harrison, if you weren't raised in a church where you watched the brothers or the sisters count the money and then pass a note to the pulpit, you didn't go to church.
And you knew what happened when they passed.
It was never enough.
A look. It was a look.
That face just went, oh, this ain't gonna do. This.
We gonna try this again.
We
y'all.
gonna try this again.
We're gonna have to dig a little deeper.
We need to dig
a little
deeper.
Now, from wherever you are.
From wherever you are. I'm starting to back off. Listen. I'm starting this offering off. And it has climbed so much. I don't want to sit in pulpits anymore. The offering start off has climbed so much. Inflation has hit. Inflation has hit the preacher. I remember when $100 was some money.
Man.
I remember when $100, everybody said, woo, $100. I'm starting this offering off with 100. Then it went to 150 and 200. We could have did a whole service like this. Then there's always one preacher to tell their wife to write the check or ask their wife to go in their purse.
Oh, yeah.
What we got, baby? Go ahead and write the check.
See, here's the thing, though. Here's how we cheat nowadays. Here's how we cheat because we act like we putting it on, giving it to give.
Listen, I'm like, I'm doing it on the phone.
Ain't done nothing. Y'all ain't sitting no money.
None. I'm cash apping them right now. Okay, because this is what phones have taken away from us. Listen, I can't believe we got on this track with offerings and afternoon service, but it happens mostly in afternoon services.
Oh, yeah.
Come up and give, march around, give whatever you have, and if you don't have anything to give,
touch the plate.
Touch the basket.
Touch the plate.
Don't reach in it. Do not reach in it. But touch the basket. I don't know if Scott or any of my white friends or Holbrook or anybody's on. I don't know if they had touch the basket in white churches. We might need to put that on Facebook and find out. Did they have? CJ played a white church before.
That was not.
They don't have come around and touch the basket.
That was not a thing.
Better touch it with one of those 20s.
Listen, brother.
Yeah, that was not a thing.
You better have better credit. If you don't have to give, just touch the basket. But I mean, and whatever the selection was, would turn into a whole other choir selection, and a shout, and don't meet your goal.
Oh my God. And then back then, they could write the check and they put on the check, don't cash.
Do not cash.
Don't cash until
Tuesday. Do not cash this until Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Can't give those big offers on Cash App because Uncle Sam's coming for his. You right. Yeah, don't cash this till Tuesday. I owe you.
Yes, sir.
I owe you. Yeah, so the afternoon services, and I mean, again, I miss it. I'm not knocking what we do. But it feels like all we do now are like, specialized, it's the concerts, the, conferences, things like that. But here's the other thing you're knocking it? I'm knocking. But here's the other thing. And me and a good friend just had a conversation about this. Those of us who are pastors who enjoyed it, I feel robbed. I feel robbed as a younger pastor. Mm-hmm. Because the older pastors, the Pastor Harrisons of the world, you would reach out for some of these
Harrison
programs.
said, who you calling old?
He said, who you calling old? But I'm saying he's got that experience. I love you, Doc. But you could call in preachers and sometimes try to get a good voice from around the country that you were good friends with, somebody you met at the convention, somebody that was a dynamic revivalist. And you knew that just off the strength of that name and that revival, the people were going to come out to hear that preacher. Our culture does not want to come out to hear good preachers anymore. And it has to be like, the gospel music and preaching industry has gotten very, very elitist in a lot of ways.
Right.
And that means like there's a very, very top tier. He said, I'm coming to war. Listen, you got a phone call coming, Doc. And again, just like concerts, same way with services. And there are some dynamic names that can run with the names of old.
Oh, yeah.
Like the C.L. Franklins and the Jasper Williams and the, they could run with the... And I mean, now we have the E. Dewey Smiths and the Howard John Wesleys and your boy Frederick Haynes. And I mean, we've got names, and we know that they be a blessing to the people, but the people don't have a mind. They just don't. That generation doesn't have a mind for that experience the way it was. And I'm working on a name right now I'd love to bring in this year for Night of Hope and just try, like, combine like a preacher with the artist. But it's like, if I did it on a Sunday, if I did a Sunday afternoon program, it's just not the same anymore. That was your chance to hear other preachers around your region and around your district or around your city that you normally wouldn't hear. You would hear that Baptist preacher, you would hear that Kojic preacher that you didn't normally get a chance. You weren't going to go on Sunday because we didn't church hop like that back in the day.
Right.
And we didn't have Facebook and YouTube to watch everybody. So the only time you heard somebody was if they visited your church. Only time you heard somebody. Brother, I might reach out to my man. Reginald Sharp is a beast.
Yeah.
Reginald Sharp is a beast. We got some names, y'all. And I'm fearful because it is a proper investment you want to make in blessing these gentlemen for traveling and coming to see you. And it's not a money thing. Sometimes it's like, will I embarrass myself and the people? I don't want to bring somebody in here to preach to 30 people.
Amen.
I don't bring nobody here preaching. Or your own city doesn't come out, or your own church doesn't recognize the name, but other people do.
One of the things Paramore said today, he said, we don't have time now to not know what we're talking about. He said, because we got so used to, on the pandemic, if I didn't like you, I could just, if your choir wasn't good, I could just,
gone.
He's so we come to church and you got to be ready. And I think that's one of the things that we used to do on Sunday nights is we used to let the ministers, especially if you have ministers, that was their time.
That was your time. And people
that was their
weren't,
time to shine.
Unless it got super late and people started slipping out, you weren't swiping away from it.
Right.
People learned how to endure church. And sometimes you mess around, and here's my last point about the afternoon services. If you mess around and stick around long enough, even if the service wasn't hitting, and you come up with like a benediction blessing, where you're at the end, they were just trying to give the final words, and somebody catch something. I mean, that was the best, because sometimes it just be the ones who stayed.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They be the ones who stayed. And somehow, even if the sermon wasn't hitting, it could just be the prayer at the end. It could have been something. Brother, it was just
that go home shout.
That go home shout.
You are dismissed.
You are dismissed.
Shout your way out.
If you can. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are dismissed if you can. I mean, those were, and again, as a kid, my boys' age, I take them with me to churches, but I even grieve that even when they go with me to churches, because church just isn't the same. It's not the same. I'm proud of my boys. They get into the service. They'll stand and support. Listen, let's just be honest. This is why we have a generation of kids that can't sing and clap and play instruments.
Absolutely.
They're not going to services. And I'm not just talking about morning services, children's church. I'm talking about they're not going to churches. We got too many black kids can't clap on beat. I'm going to say it.
My God.
We got too many black kids that can't clap on the 2 and the 4 because they ain't been to church. And it's a crying shame.
It is. It really is.
I be practicing with my kids. I be like, yo, we put that song on. Y'all gonna be embarrassing me up in here.
I mean,
you ain't gotta be super churchy, but you knew what to do.
Especially, and I'm not being funny and nothing against it, because I loved it. Some of them Church of God in Christ kids would practice their dance.
Man, they knew it.
They
you want to set a church off?
Shout,
let a young person.
Man.
let a young person, the Ringos got it still.
Oh yeah,
The Ringos and Larry's boy.
Now you got these kids in church trying to do the.
Oh yeah,
do whatever that garbage is.
They're doing the what was it called? The gritty. They're doing the gritty and the.
I'm like, that's not church dancing.
We're not doing TikTok dances up in here.
Right.
You better get you a shout. Get you a shout. I'll be watching the video, and it's funny because I can see my boy. I'm not saying I wanted my boy to be a super churchy boy or whatever, but sometimes when I still watch like the Kojic convention, especially Kojic convention or apostolic, when they're Pentecostal, and you see them little boys get out in the aisle, I would literally be like, "That's Ethan right there. That's Ethan."
They
right
grab
there.
that church chair.
Listen, you grab
that
the
chair.
Can we talk about it? You can't shout with chairs like you can with pews.
Come on, sir.
You need pews. You need something to bolt it to the flow.
Some stability.
You need something that's the rock of ages. you need that 400-pound organ. Y'all can't play that Nord like that. You can't play that. You can't. Y'all don't know what that is. Y'all can't play the little keyboards like that. You need that beast, that 450-pound sucker. When the speaker would be up on a pole, chained to the wall. The deacons did it. It's shaking plaster, shaking off the ceiling. That's church. Somebody got to sit on the bass drum so the bass drum don't scoot all the way across the floor. That's church,
yes,
brother.
Sir. Yes, sir.
You got to avoid that bad key and that pedal that don't work. That's church.
I still got videos of you and Micah and y'all
I said, don't sit on that left side pew. The left side pew is always broke. You
man,
y'all Micah?
Going in, man. Going at the end of service,
at
man.
At the end of service.
And you couldn't even hold the phone long enough because you just had to go in with y'all.
We just going in.
Just going in.
Those were the days. I mean, and again, I agree for a generation. I'm all for the things that we have available. But some of that, we got to love church again. And honestly, I have a dual side to it. It's my faith, it's my convictions, but it's also a part of preserving culture.
Yes.
It's like not knowing how to make cornbread anymore.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like we talk so much about these young, but there's another side. It's like there was something that we just have. And I'm sorry, some of it I see too. And we played church.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about
Absolutely.
it. If you young, we all played church.
Oh, yeah.
But you messed around long enough.
And caught something.
And caught something. Listen, y'all.
Caught something.
They would call you up. I was at Cleveland Guardians game. And I still have my tag on from this little event I had attended across the street. It was like a vendor event. Our church went, they gave me a tag and said pastor. And a lady at the hot dog stand, black lady, I forgot. She said, "You're a pastor?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Warren, Ohio." And she said, "Do you know Prophet Norwood?" Prophet Norwood was a minister at Community Church of God in Christ when I was a teenager. Prophet Norwood, I forget his first name. But he was like the shouting, prophesying preacher at 310 Austin Avenue. And I literally thought to myself, I had a flashback in line. I'm like, do I know him? This brother called me up to the front, prophesied over me, took my glasses off, and told me to shout. I'm like, and a random black woman at a hot dog stand was like, dude, because that memory in the stadium came back to me. Like, yes. That's why I got the Holy Ghost now, because of these brothers, these people. That's why I am the way I am. I wasn't that kid until I started going to church and going to the community.
He didn't teach you how to shout, because
No,
you still don't know how to shout.
I still don't know how to shout. But I will put a running man on it. I'll put a running man on it. But listen. But if you didn't have a Holy Ghost headquarters to go to like we had in Warren, where they would shout 200 miles an hour all night long, listen.
That was Calvary in Youngstown.
You didn't have it.
Calvary in Youngstown. Calvary would go
the 200-mile-an-hour shout.
The run around the church.
The run around the church.
The run around the church.
Everybody comes to the altar.
Somehow they missed everything.
Nobody hit
anything.
Nobody's running in the walls. Nobody's tripping over speakers. Nobody's running. To all these videos you see of people falling over keyboard, that's how you know Holy Ghost ain't there. When the Holy Ghost was there, we wasn't falling over the organist. We wasn't doing all that stuff. God was keeping us. Y'all ain't got no oil. But I'm seeing people play and they never stop playing. They never stop playing. And it feels like circusy to me. It feels circusy. It feels like circus church. It's not grimy enough. You know why? Because it doesn't smell like chicken and perfume. It doesn't smell like chicken and perfume. I start like I end like I started it. That's how you know you was in the spot, in the space, man. You know, and so we're giving a shout out to the church of days gone old, gone by.
So
The Church
what
of
you're
Old.
saying is Second Baptist gonna start having afternoon services?
I had to find me a good Koji church, man. You know, it had to be a Koji church. Second Baptist, we can do it, but we don't. And you know, I'll be honest. It was better, like Mike said, when it was in the smaller churches.
Yeah.
Something about a
That
smaller
small.
church.
Yeah.
Just something about it. You could have just a few people. You felt full. You go into these bigger churches. That's why you can't have after, because only a few people would come. Mm-hmm. So when you have it in our bigger churches,
What's that?
tofu and sea moss, that's what the shouts are today. Put that up. That's what I see. That's what I envision when I see some of these tight leg shouts, some of these skinny jean shouts.
Listen.
They doing Olympic sprint shouts. I'm seeing tofu and sea moss.
We are done. It is 9:30. We are done.
Hey, we love y'all.
love y'all.
We're so
Come
glad
back
to be
next
back.
week.
Come back next
We got
week.
some more for y'all.
It won't.
Sponsors, looking for sponsors.
Hey, we're looking for sponsors. We got another one coming up real quick. If you would like to sponsor Religiously Incorrect Podcast, if you got subject matter you'd like us to touch on,
We got 2 sponsors coming up, so y'all better hurry up and get y'all spot in here.
Get it in.
Y'all better come on, cause y'all see we're all the way across the nation, thousands.
Ethan,
hundreds
you
of thousands.
want to come in the camera and shout a little bit? You want to shout, praise God a little bit? Oh, okay. We're gonna practice.
I'm good.
We're gonna practice on it. So I'm good. I'm gonna go home and do the gritty all night. Hey, y'all take care. Love y'all. Be blessed. Religiously Incorrect. Peace out.